Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make these funky animated neon buttons. Just look at them go. So let's get into it. I'm here in VS Code and I've just set up a div with a class of container, and so far that's it. So the first thing I'll do is add my buttons, and that's going to look like a button, and they're both going to have a generic btn class, and then I'm going to do the identifier classes. So there will be cancel for this one, and that's going to have a type reset, and what this would do would be to reset all the fields in a form it belongs to their initial values. And then here's the text, which is cancel. Let's see what that looks like. A bit tiny and a bit sad, but also a bit buttony. Okay, so now we can just copy this and we'll change btn cancel to btn submit. And what this would do would submit a form data to a server and then submit text. So there are our buttons in the HTML. Now these buttons use a Google font, which I'll go and get now. And the name of the font is ASAP. So pop that into my HTML, and then it's time for CSS. So we do button and pop the font in there. Let's see how that's looking. Not hugely different at the moment, but when it gets bigger, it'll be well worth doing. Okay, let's put in the rest of the generic button styles. To make sure they're all the same size, I'm going to add a min width and a max width. And that's going to be 70 pixels for the min and 200 for the max. Next up, I want to space them out, so we do margin 1em, and I definitely want some padding on my buttons as well. And you should always have more padding on the left and right of a button than the top or bottom. So we do padding 1em to em. Looking better already. I want to round off those corners, so I'll do border radius 5 pixels. Not too rounded. Now I want to add this cool neon border. And to do that, we do border width 2 pixels. We'll add the colors into the more specific button classes. We want the background color, of course, to be black. And I'll also add a color of white. Partly so we can see what we're doing, but also in case something goes wrong with these specifier classes, we'll still have a fallback. And then boost up the font size a bit. Let's do 1.25 ems. And just for a bit of extra flair, we'll add in some letter spacing. Nice. And of course, we want a button focus and button hover state. We're going to put in cursor pointer, and then it's going to be a very subtle difference, the background color, which is a slightly lighter black. Let's see what that's looking like. Nice. So now you can see whether we hover over the buttons or tab through them, there is a slight difference in the background color. So now we're going to add our neon colors. So kick off with the cancel button. So btn cancel, and we want color of hot pink, and the same for the border color. And away we go. Awesome. Basically, we want the same thing for the submit button. So we do submit button, just to keep things clear in my CSS, copy this. This is submit, and the color I used was lime green. Let's give that a go. Looking good. Finally, we want to add our cool animations. So first I will set up the animation for button cancel. We do add keyframes. I'll call it left slide, and at 0% we want to have a box shadow inset, which means it's inside the button, and that will be 6.5 ems 0.0 hot pink, and we need that space, and we also need to use it somewhere, which will be on the hover and focus states. So I might as well just copy this and switch out the button for button cancel. And now we can add in our animation, which is left slide, let's say 1 second. Let's give that a go. Looking pretty good, but possibly a bit slow. So I'll do 0.7 seconds. I think that's better. But the other thing is, we also want to be able to read the text clearly when we're hovering. So to do that, we do color black, and that's looking cool. And it's a very similar setup for our submit button. So I might as well just copy this, and I'll call this animation pulse. And of course we want it to be lime green. And then finally, copy our hover and focus states, switch out cancel for submit, and we want this to be pulse. Let's see if that's working. So we currently still have the same box shadow as the cancel button, but of course we want it to be different. We don't want it inset, we want it to be pulsing outside of the button, and then we want 0.75 ems. And there we have it, a pulsing submit button and a left sliding cancel button. And as a final touch, I will add onto the button active state, transform scale 0.96, and you'll see what that does. Gives it a nice, satisfying, clicking micro action. Very nice. I could click these all day. I really could. Now, the eagle-eyed among you will have noticed that I haven't actually used the generic BTN class I set up earlier. And that wouldn't be too much of a problem as things currently stand, but if I later wanted to add buttons into a project that had different styles, we'd then probably run into problems. So what I should do is change these button tag selectors for .btn and save that, and you'll see everything is just the same as it was before, but now we have scoped things to the buttons that have the BTN class. Great news! Well, that's about it for this neon animated clicking fun video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and helping me out with that algorithm. And you can also join me on Twitter. You can see pictures of my cat, find out about my new videos, and most importantly, take part in my random Twitter polls. I recently asked, what would you rather the world had, an additional moon or talking dolphins? And a massive 73% of people, nearly 74 actually, went for talking dolphins. So that was a real eye-opener. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.